Hi guys, welcome to the 5 in 5 outlining video. Now I decided to make this video because even though we covered outlining in a live stream, it was really long and not everybody has time for that. So I'm going to go over 5 ways to outline or plot your story for people who maybe don't have that much experience doing that. So here we go. The first type of outlining is what I think of as the most basic form of an outline, and that is called a web outline. Now, as you can see on mine, I did one that you can make for your entire book to keep, or story, whatever, to keep characters straight. So I have the title in the middle, which I just titled it title. And then I have my characters, which are A, B, C, D, and E. I didn't bother thinking up real names. Now, as you can see, A and E are connected and it says married. D and C are connected and says enemies. And then over here on B, it just says character B is dead. Now, you can modify this to fit whatever you actually need. Instead of the title, maybe you could put a character's name. And on each of the branches or spider legs, you can put a different characteristic that character has and maybe little branches off it saying why they're like that or what events were caused because they are, for example, stubborn. So this is a really basic form of outlining, but it's also really good if you're new to the outlining process, and getting a visual like this can be really helpful, especially if you do it on a sheet of paper that you can put on a wall or in a book where you can refer back to it time and again. So yeah, the next method of outlining slash plotting slash organizing is making a character bio sheet. Now I recommend doing this at least for your main characters, but I would also recommend doing it for any side characters you have as well as your antagonists. Now, this is just a sample sheet with some really basic things on it. I've got the sample picture here, which I do recommend finding one. Of course, you're creating a character, so there probably isn't going to be a picture that is spot on. But if you can find one that's similar, whether it's an actor, actress, model, even a cartoon drawing, being able to refer back to that so you don't give your character two different appearances because you forgot can be really helpful. Making a character bio sheet is easier for people if they have experience with it, such as with forum role-playing or tabletop gaming, such as Dungeons and Dragons. Character bio sheets can be really detailed and several pages long, or it can just be a quick paragraph with notes about the character. You can go as in-depth as you want. This next outlining method is really popular among people who don't enjoy the traditional sense of outlining because it's entirely picture-based. Storyboarding. Now, storyboarding is a term that you've probably heard in reference to screenplays, movies, things like that, but it can be really useful if you're writing a book or some other form of story as well. Now, my storyboard is fantastic, as you can see. It's about a happy flower that falls in love. I don't know. Storyboards can contain model references for characters. It can contain pictures of clothing for fashion references. It can contain just landscape pictures. Whatever you want, really, as long as it relates to your story. Now, I wrote down these 4 websites that I know are popular for storyboards. Pinterest and Instagram in particular seem to be the top runners for this. So if you're interested, go on either of those and just search for storyboard, and you'll probably find something really awesome. This next method of outlining I just call scene lines. Now by scene, I mean just a part of the story that doesn't necessarily have to be a chapter. It can be shorter. I actually find that this method works best for short stories and things that are shorter than, say, a novel. Now, here's just a quick example that I put together. Open, bar fight, restaurant, birthday, nuclear bomb. Now, obviously this isn't for a real story, but it could be. And scene lines is just a really super basic idea of the order that you want your events to go in. Now, this is obviously not detailed, But if you have an end goal and you know that you want A, B, and C to happen, plus probably other things you haven't thought of yet, but at least those three, write them down in whatever order you want them to happen so that you have some sort of an idea where you're going. Okay, guys, the final method of outlining that I'm going to mention is actually by far my favorite, but a lot of people think I'm crazy when I mention that I do it. It's something that is definitely not done by people who are not used to outlining, and it can take a bit of practice, and most people don't really like doing it. However, by using this method, I do find that I don't suffer from writer's block. I always know where I'm going and what my characters should be doing, and I don't get that stuck feeling that most writers complain that they do. So it works for me, and it's called chapter outlines. Okay, so the basic idea of a chapter outline is to literally outline all of your chapters. I know, it was really hard to see that coming. But it doesn't need to be super in depth. It can just be a line saying, this character does this. I mean, obviously, you're not going to go into too much detail, but if you plan every chapter ahead of time, or even start to write your book with no idea where it's going, and then maybe 3 or 4 chapters in, you go, okay, I know what's going to happen. Then you can do chapter outlines for at least the next several chapters, and it can be really, really helpful. It can also make people think you're insane, which can also be helpful because it gives you more alone time to write. Okay, guys, that is everything. This has been a 5 in 5 video. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you did, I will definitely be doing more. And that's it. Have a great day. If you enjoyed this, please subscribe to our channel. We do live streams every Wednesday and Saturday, and we'd love to have you.